Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a new edition of the Batter Up Podcast, sponsored by the Dugout Millwood here on the Sports and Cindy Network. Top of the lineup with you, Danny Boy Reginald, the old ops guy, Mike Rifkin. We would have our 4 and 5 hitters here too, but in honor of Jaden Daniels, we just couldn't afford that.
Also, as the SIN network is joining up, we do not allow Jaden Daniels to wear our logo at any time, so our place. So please make that as a note.
And understand, Jaden, there will be a cease and desist letter be sent out to you.
We never won a Heisman, though. That's all I'm going to tell you.
More on
Mike
that.
Mike just threw the gauntlet there.
Listen, if Reggie Bush had to give his back, Jaden Daniels.
More on that on Sunday Sideline Report.
Yeah, more later.
We have a month until that happens.
But gentlemen, good morning. How are we?
Recovering from a stupid ankle injury.
Yeah, late as always.
You know what? We usually set it for 10 a.m., but we've known at this point we go when we want to go. We do have a lot to cover this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about the Field of Dreams game, all future All-Star game locations. But I want to start with what took place yesterday at Wrigley Field because we had history. Cardinals prospect Joshua Baez became the first major league player ever to hit 3 homers in his debut. I mean, talk about your welcome to the show moment there, Dan.
I think my brother is still at the television station he works at in St. Louis because, all of a sudden you have this kid who hits 3 home runs. And apparently over there, they had no other sports reporter other than him. So he's scrambling to cover all these stories and stuff. Shout out to my bro Kev over at in Fox 2. Man, no, it's incredible, man. 3 home runs in your major league debut. Oh, and it's at the and no offense to Fenway. It's at the greatest ballpark in baseball history in Wrigley Field. That's unbelievable. How does that happen? How does that happen? Absolutely incredible. And shout out to the kid. These were no gimmies either. Some of these were pretty big shots too. So he definitely has some power in him. And no, it's an incredible debut. You do it against a division rival, like I said, one of America's greatest ballparks. I think it's the greatest ballpark. And the fact of the matter is, making history as the first player to make his debut and hit 3 home runs is incredible, Mark. It is absolutely something that you dream of and you're living it.
I was not a home run hitter. That's by looking at me, you don't need to tell me to tell you that to notice that. However, you got the notification, and it's great to see. And we've seen it a lot. Major league player comes up, hits a home run in his debut game. We've seen that. I've seen 2 before. Never in the likes of me have I seen 3 in the first 3 at bats. And as Dan put out there, they weren't gimme shots. They weren't off the pole. The first one landed 450 feet. That's a blast.
It was a bomb, dude.
Okay. And here's a trivia question to our 2 guys here. What 2 other players in their rookie time has hit a longer home run as a rookie? Only as a rookie.
I know Judge is.
That is one.
Is it a current player or retired?
Retired.
How far back do we got to go?
He retired only about 2 years ago,
Two,
or it might have
Na
been just last year, to be honest.
National League or American League?
National,
Jason Hayward.
correct. 476 feet by Jason Hayward.
wow.
Jesus Christ. That's how far he hit it in Atlanta?
His rookie shot, his first home run, 476 feet.
Wow.
You know,
Of
we don't
Carlos
see the
Zambrano.
yeah, we don't see the likes of this happen very often, and to see it come from a rookie makes baseball all that more special. We've seen 4 home run days by a better than now 8 major league ball players.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be cool if I mean, if this kid can do it again, God bless him. That's an amazing talent. We all know every card breaker in their world is going out to go find whatever low end rookie cards of his now that are out there. Dylan, go get them, Dylan. You're listening to us, Dylan. Go get them. But I think it was great. I think it was a great news story because it took away from the usual. It went to something unusual. Mike?
I think it's cool for so many reasons. One, obviously, the historical standpoint, but to Dan's point, to do it at a cathedral like Wrigley Field, like you do that at Busch Stadium, it's cool, it's at home, but to do this at Wrigley, like it's gotta feel so special. Um, Something obviously we've never seen before. It's the first time it happened, but man, shout out to the kid. And how about this little team the Cardinals are building here? Jordan Walker seems to be breaking through. JJ Weatherholt. Throw in this kid, Mason Wynn. You get some starting pitching up there in St. Louis. And the Cardinals, who, by the way, are still hanging around the wild card,
Correct.
the future's pretty bright.
They're playing good baseball too.
Yeah, they're
They
6-4 in their last 10
yeah,
after being a little rough after the break.
and look, it's all right now. It's all about the young players and what you got, moving
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah.
So it's oh, it's incredible stuff, man. Oh, this kid has some swagger. Oh, and did you see he had like 40 people?
Yeah, he had a
Yeah, like
lot
his
of
family,
family
it
and
had like a
friends.
whole section basically.
Like
Yeah.
that's also incredible. It's always cool to see the family members experience that too, you know.
And so congratulations to Joshua Baez on an outstanding performance. And I mean it's a little late, but guy's making his rookie of the year run now.
Hmm. He can wait till next year. I
It
think
can
it's
wait till next year.
mm.
Oh,
Oh
all
God.
right. From something cool to something serious. This is from Jesse Rogers of ESPN. MLB owners, we're going to get into a little CBA here. Owners are prepared to propose a 245.3 million dollar salary cap and $171 million payroll floor starting next year as a part of the CBA. Mark, something we've talked about for a while is if you're going to do a cap, we'd like to see a floor as well.
I think you have to have both here. I don't think you can have one without the other, and that just is pretty plain and simple. The number, it's there, but it's not going to fly. It's a start off. It's a starting point. At least gets you off the ground, gives you a chance to negotiate and see. Now it's put back to the players' organization, and now we're going to see. Maybe not in the day or two, but give them a couple of days. We're going to get their response. and it's going to be way different. Don't take it as they're being greedy. It's a negotiating point. They're going to go high to get down to the number they want, but this will not be a set in stone number. This is just a bargaining point.
So let me follow up before I said, Dan, if you're in the ballpark of the players or the owners, what do you think the fair number would be? Either way, cap and floor.
I would say 290, 185.
So you would increase both by a little bit.
Yeah, not by much.
Players aren't going for this. The players are greedy. They don't want a salary cap. This is the problem. The problem is they don't want a cap. That's the thing that's gonna. The owners want it. They're gonna keep proposing it. The players don't want it. They're gonna keep telling them no cap. That's the standstill. And as long as that happens, they're screwed. There is not going to be a 2027. And I'm not doing this bullshit 2020 where we play what, 50 games and then there's your season. That's not happening. I don't think the players are going to want to do that either. Might as well cancel the season.
So let me ask you this then, Dan. Do you think the addition of the owner saying we'll have a salary floor that doesn't change anything in your mind, or
No, they can't because I know the players at one point like, well, maybe if you have a salary floor, we'll consider it. No, they're not going. No, they want it how it is right now. They're just not telling us that. Some players are, but the reality is they want this current system right now, the one that MLB has, where there's the luxury tax. And, yes, you can go as high as you want on your payroll, but you're going to pay because the players want to maximize their value.
And Dan's not wrong there on this point. There's never been a cap here. However, we see all other sports have a floor or a cap in one way or another. Baseball's the only one that doesn't. Why is it? Well, one of the big reasons, it's 162 games. It's the only sport that plays almost double what other sports do. However, okay, so you get to play more games. That doesn't mean you're worth more than whatnot. There will be one or the other. And shout out to Adam Weinstein, who's going to be joining us again this week. And we're going to be talking about this. The fact of a floor and a cap, he agrees, is just clickbait, is just to get the fans rumored up to make both sides set. I don't know if that's going to happen. And I think it's either lockout or it stays.
so you think the owners are putting out public pressure or perception of public pressure on the players?
I didn't think that until he explained it a little bit. And it makes sense that if you get, we see Mike, you, me, Dan have seen what fan reaction was like during, well, you guys not really during the strike, the 2020 season, which was not a strike, was more of health concerns, but you saw baseball almost fall off the planet. We don't want to see that. The fans don't want to see that. So what's one way to fight against it is to get public opinion on your side.
And here's the thing to that point. In an argument of billionaires versus millionaires, the people who will lose out on the fans, the common man. Now, I've been very open, and Mark can attest to this. I've been very open about baseball should have a salary floor based on an ownership group. If you don't want to spend to the salary floor, sell your damn team. I'm to Dan's point about the players not wanting the cap, which, by the way, I understand where he's coming from. The players are going to want to cash in no matter what. And I'm going to presume any deal that is signed pre 2027 is going to be grandfathered in, whether that be the Juan Soto contract, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, whoever it is. I think the three things baseball needs to look at outside of just the cap floor, salary cap as a whole. One big issue, these big 10+ year contracts. That'll help owners and fans. No more 10-year contracts. That'd be one. Two, I think this one is just as important for the players as it would be. Mark, you brought up the games. Are we going to can we shorten it to 154 games? There's been talk of baseball wanting to expand a couple of games.
You can't shorten baseball because baseball was extended because of the 61 season record bullshit. That's why we extended baseball. I have heard the same thing in your rumor of wanting to extend baseball even more. What are we going to do? Have them with ice skates on, skating down to first base? You can't add any more games. I mean, come on, you're already playing into the coldest parts of the year as it is.
Yeah, it's unacceptable to be playing. It's tough enough to do 162 games. You know.
By the way, they just released the postseason schedule. A potential Game 7 of the World Series, Halloween.
That's ridiculous. I mean, and I don't say ridiculous because of what it could mean for costumes, whatever those teams are. I mean, hey, I'm talking about, as anybody knows, in the Northeast. Let's take the Northeast just as a, you're in winter. You're in 30, 40-degree weather with cold rain, and baseball plays in almost anything.
Yeah.
They don't stop. We've seen them play in snow. You can't have a World Series, and especially if the Yankees seem to go all the way or the Red Sox, you can't play World Series games in the Northeast. I like the idea of, and this has been thrown around, is to change the World Series to like the Super Bowl. One city gets it every year. 7 games. It's been tossed around and shot down so many times. I don't know if it'll be resurfaced, but it's been brought up.
Look, it's happened before where we've had a neutral site World Series, obviously for under the worst circumstances possible. But I mean, we've done it before, and it was pretty nice. I mean, I'd be lying to you, be like, oh no, it's terrible. No, it was actually,
if you look at
cool.
The way they do it as the All-Star game, look at the amount of revenue whatever team is hosting it brings in. So if you switch it to this, look at the amount of revenue that stadium. Forget about the team name. It could be the Yankees and the Mets for all we would care, but being played in Tennessee if there were a team. Look at the amount of revenue that brings in for that franchise itself. That's how an equal establishment of money could be worked, but that's just one guy's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you have to find a way. You have to find something that benefits financially everybody. And right now, the players have always touted, floor, floor, floor. We'll be willing to accept it. No, they're not. They're not willing to accept the floor because they know that all these teams are going to do is, spend on mid-level contracts just so they can get up to that threshold. And then they stop. Is that going to be enough for players? No. Because these players are going to want long-term contracts. They're going to want Juan Soto-like money where they're going to make $1 billion over God knows how many years. Like, no. It's a lie. It's a farce what the players are doing. They don't care. That's why the owners are calling their bluff and be like, okay, cool. You want a salary floor? We'll give you one.
I
Your
think
turn.
no, I don't think you're wrong. I think the other thing that they've really got to look into here, and the Dodgers found the loophole, and they really started the loophole, and that's the deferred money.
Mhm.
I think that's something else that baseball as a whole is going to have to look into. But look, here's the thing: every next big player thinks they are Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Ohtani. Guess what? You're not. You might be the next guy inclined to get paid, but I think the timing, and this is where a team like the Braves really hit the nail on the head, where they just decide, you know what, we're going to buy out arbitration years, and we're going to pay these guys maybe a little bit less than what they're going to be generally worth on the open market, but we're going to have them for a longer period of time because of that. I think that's the way more teams should operate. But at this, it's frustrating right now because, to Dan's point, if the players are going to go for a cap, which don't think they will, it, it might be a long winter in baseball.
Yeah. I wouldn't lose hope because ultimately they want to play.
Right. And by the way, the owners can also ill afford a lockout
Yeah.
just based on the star power in the game right now.
Well, that the momentum has been exceptional for baseball. And look, it's still not king, but it has been exceptional to watch baseball in a way that it has been received over the last 5 years, where people are glued to the TV for big games, which used to never happen. In the 2010s, it certainly didn't happen. Um, unless you were in markets like New York and all that stuff. But like, no, it's incredible stuff. It's incredible to watch.
And
You
if you
know,
look at it from the other side of the view, Dan, if there's no baseball, the owners are paying upkeep on these stadiums and there's no revenue coming in. So that's just all bleeding out. So, of course, the owners want them to play. So they don't want to see a lockout any more than the players do. But you're talking about two sides of the coin here. And it's hard to get both sides of that coin to meet. Just look at the Republicans and Democrats. There's your example.
You think they just give away free hot dogs at stadiums just for the hell of it then?
If that would push the bar, sure. I don't want to know where the meat comes from, but sure.
So we'll see what happens next with the whole CBA.
here's the floor. Do you really want a floor? Negotiate.
Yeah, listen, I think it's I want to be positive and say that's a good starting point. I just don't know if I think we're getting to the point is we'll believe it when we see it. So we'll see what happens there. But proposed cap, proposed floor, see what happens. All right. So on to a couple of gamesmanship things that have happened. About let's go to LA for a minute because the Dodgers not been playing great since the break. They've dropped two of their first three to the Milwaukee Brewers. And Mark, I don't like laughing at things, but Thursday night, some guy named Edwin Diaz
Oh, you're going there first. Okay.
blew his third save of the week. The Dodgers, he struggled since coming back from injury. Should we sound the trumpet because the Dodgers might have an Edwin Diaz problem?
The curse of leaving New York. It always happens. No,
And the curse of being on my fantasy team.
that too. That Mike really screws it up for a lot of us.
And,
Um,
and I do want to note, I did take him out of frustration.
Look, Edwin Diaz is still a very talented pitcher. Here's the difference. Edwin Diaz, 8 years ago, new on the scene. Nobody knew him. He's not added new pitches to his repertoire in any of the time. He has three basic pitches. He's got a great two-seamer, a now hittable four-seamer, and that slider when it's on, one of the best in the game. But he's not that Edwin Diaz anymore. He should have learned a changeup, a slider, something, a cutter, something. So he would have something else for people to look at. But when you have a repertoire of three pitches, yeah, he's getting rookies on strikeouts and stuff like that. But when you have guys who've been in 5, 6 years, know what they're looking for and have faced him enough, I don't think it's time to sound the alarm. I think it's a phosphorus light calling to Edwin, get another pitch.
That's not happening. Not with a closer. But it's a cool idea. Why not learn something else?
Learn a split finger.
You know, for Dave Roberts to go out there and be like, I have no other option. So we're just gonna stick with Edwin Diaz. I said this on SIP. That's not good. His ERA right now, and I know was like 15 appearances because of his injury,
Yeah,
but
close to
his
it. Yeah.
but his ERA is like a whopping 10.66 right now. Absolutely stud ass ERA that he's throwing out there. You can't go out there if you're the Dodgers and keep saying Edwin Diaz is our closer when he can't close right now for the life of him. Get him out of there. Put him in a low pressure situation to get his confidence back and put in somebody that you have put in this season that can actually get the job done. It's not rocket science. This is simple baseball. It's a simple eye test. Right now, Mark nailed it. None of his pitches are getting to anybody. They are well aware of what he can do, what he can throw. They're just waiting for him to pop it down the middle, and all of a sudden it starts to rally. And if it's missing, well, they're just not going to hit it.
Well, that's because if he misses, he walks the world.
So you do have an Edwin Diaz problem. Dave Roberts, I understand that you're trying to protect your man and also trying to justify the contract, but if it's going to become more of an issue, you have to get him out of there and put someone else in the bullpen that could get the job done. Possibly. Apparently, the Dodgers, according to him, there's no other options. So
they paid Tanner Scott for no reason.
like, what are we doing? And if there really isn't another option, then what are the Dodgers doing? Because all season we're talking about how they're this all worldly team. Of course, that has been surpassed by Milwaukee. That there's this all worldly team. They can't be stopped. They're going for a three-peat. And yet you can't address the bullpen?
To your point, 10.66 ERA for Edwin Diaz so far this season. I mean, this was his line on Thursday. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts.
He gave up the lead.
Yeah, and Mike, we saw him do that during that year where he almost gave up a home run every time he came in.
Yeah, it
We
was his
saw
first
those
year.
lines. Yeah, we saw those lines and like, what's going on here?
First year jitters?
And then
Is
he
that
settled in.
It could be a thing.
It could be a thing, but then settled in. But considering his age, his contract, does he have time to settle in before the Dodgers just say, fuck this? Sorry, my bad. I'm the one who
No, no,
dropped it
no.
today.
But you're right, because he is going to face the most pressure he's ever faced come playoff time. Because of what Dan said, the expectation is this all world team is looking to three-peat. Well, here's the break the Dodgers have. They have this unmatched rotation where someone is going to not be in. They'll just stick them in the bullpen. Whether that's Snell, whether that's Glasnow, whether that's the second coming of Sandy Koufax, who knows? But they're going to wind up throwing a couple of starters in the bullpen because every team does come playoff time.
Because you need it, because when one starter implodes
Yeah.
in the first inning, you gotta have major insurance.
No, that's fair. And by the way, Edwin Diaz, not the only free agent Dodgers struggling. Kyle Tucker, when he's not playing the Mets
all season long.
Well, this is funny. Kyle Tucker was not in the Dodger lineup last night. Dave Roberts said this is from the Dodgers sleeper account. Kyle Tucker is out of the lineup because of his frustrations playing at home. When you don't perform, fans are going to boo, pal.
A main reason he didn't want to come to New York. He did not want to hear the displeasement of the crowd when he doesn't do good.
Well, what do you think LA
Wherever
is?
you go, you're going to hear that.
Like LA, you had your mind? Like you think just because you went to LA that you're not going to get away from a hostile crowd? What are you talking about?
That's I don't know, man. I saw, but
It's a hostile environment. Like LA is a
they
big
paid
sports
you to
town.
be a player,
They're
man.
they're a smart baseball town, just like New York. They know stupid and dumb and crappy play when they see it. Come on now. That's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. So two free agents not playing great in LA. Don't worry, the Dodgers still have an 8-game lead in the division.
Yeah. And right now, the teams like the Blue Jays and all the teams that went after Kyle Tucker wouldn't budge. Looking
Like,
pretty smart right now.
Yep.
yeah. Look at you, David Stearns. You did it.
Well,
Mic drop.
except that guy, you know.
Yeah. So early on Thursday, we had the Field of Dreams game. Twins, Phillies. Phillies beat up on the Twins. Kyle Schwarber was like, "Oh, you build it. I hit ball out of stadium twice." But I got to tell you guys, I want to see an all-star game played at the Field of Dreams.
It would take a lot, but yes.
I think that would be fun.
I think it would be memorable, but it would be. I mean, how much does it seat now? How much can it physically seat right now? I honestly
No,
don't
they'd
know
have
the answer.
to install more seats.
You would have to install a lot
Yeah.
of work for one game. But
Yeah.
could we make that a Netflix game? Then you don't have to worry about the fans since it's streaming. I mean, that's where you would have to look
put it
to it
on
at.
regular put it on Fox. Let John Smoltz talk about pitching and
Well,
growing
I
corn.
would love to see it there. It would make
it was
perfect
on
sense.
Fox. It was on Fox
Yeah.
until they went streaming, which is dumb. Um, look, obviously the Phillies kicked the Twins' ass in that game, but it was just cool. You know, it's the aesthetics of it. You know, you're in Iowa, you have the cornfields,
Mm.
you know, it's near the site of the film, which is always historic.
Yeah, they
Um,
go by the house. They enter through the cornfield.
yeah.
I mean, Mark gets confused with the corn mazes at times, but you know,
Like it was it's literally an incredible sight. I love the Field of Dreams game.
mm,
Every time they do it, and they haven't done it in a while, but every time they do it, it's always something that's just cool. It's different.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be an every year thing. You know, doing it once every 2 years or whatever is fine. It gets something. They're gonna do it next year, but you know, it does give fans something to look forward to in a couple of years. So that's why I think baseball should be careful about the Field of Dreams. Don't overhype it every season. Do it like every 2 years or 2 years and then take 2 years off so that you know you can spread out the the feel of the game. Just my honest opinion, you know.
no, to your point, Royals Red Sox is supposed to be the game next year.
You know. So yeah, it was awesome to watch. You see Cody Clemens playing catch with Roger.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
that,
stuff you love.
come on. Like, you know, obviously it's a in a reenactment of that famous scene in Field of Dreams. Like it's an incredible thing to do. They're on the side of the film, they're playing catch, father and son. Like, come on now.
You know what I find really interesting is Roger Clemens appears here. He's done a couple of Sunday night baseball games. He did one of the Yankee games, and I think he did one of the Red Sox games.
Yeah,
Roger Clemens getting back into the decent graces here of baseball.
mhm.
There's a time to forgive and forget certain things.
I don't think Mike Piazza will ever forgive him.
I'm saying the Piazza's one player who's not gonna forget. I'm not gonna say the guy wasn't a dominant pitcher. I'm not gonna say he wasn't one of the best to ever step on a mound. I love watching him pitch up until I learned what I learned. I hated him for what he did to Piazza, but that's baseball. You know, it is. You know, it happens. But no, I think Clemens has a lot of insight, especially on the pitching aspect. And I think he could be very useful if he can keep the politics out of it.
Yeah, so, but yeah, to Dan's point, what a scene! What a
Mhm.
scene!
Yeah.
Um,
But by the way, 2 bombs for Schwarbaum in the
and by the way,
37
cornfields.
he
and
was
38.
scuffling going in.
Yeah.
37 and 38. Jeez.
Yeah. Incredible. Also, the 26 Hall of Famers coming out of the cornfields, too.
Yeah.
Like,
That all right.
you know,
That was nice.
Oh,
yeah.
so cool. I love these older venue games. Like when they did it in the Negro Leagues Park a couple of years ago with the Giants and the Reds. Though that was really cool.
See, this is what I mean. Like, do a tour,
Yeah.
like, type of thing. You know, instead of doing Field of Dreams all the time, do one Field of Dreams, one was it Rickford, whatever that stadium's called.
Yeah, I think it was in Alabama.
You know, do stuff like that. Like every season, you're gonna go to
All
some other
parts. That
baseball
would be
site.
fun.
You
That'd be
know,
fun.
That'd be a lot of fun. Uh, you know,
keep the newness of it.
yeah, freshness. Yeah. Again, next year, Royals, Red Sox, Field of Dreams. Um, Also, baseball announced some future All Star game venues. Obviously, next year, if it happens, Wrigley Field.
I
28 will be San Francisco. 29 will be Toronto at Rogers Center. And 2030, Camden Yards
yeah.
hosts the All Star game.
Can you believe the Yankees are gonna go 20 years without hosting an All-Star game at their new stadium? Like,
I mean, they've gone 17 without a championship.
it is brutal, man. And they're gonna play the New York card. Oh, well, we did New York like 16 years ago. But that's not my
But,
point, you
Both New
know?
York parks need to be back in.
Like,
well, I don't know how it works for the All Star game. Do you bid on it, or is it,
I don't know how it works,
I'm
but
not sure myself either. I have to look
yeah.
it up.
So,
yeah.
is it-
Uh, God.
I mean, home run hitters with left-handed home run hitters at the Derby will have fun at would have fun at Yankee Stadium.
Incredible stuff. I will say, smart for the baseball star in San Francisco in 28. Short distance between the LA 28 and then San Francisco. So,
yeah, that was a big part of it. They said Olympics.
you know, um, another reason why we need baseball, Mikey nailed it. We need to have the Wrigley All-Star game. It has to happen, you know.
And we could add ideas to the All Star game. I mean, throw the Savannah Bananas out there. Let's have some fun.
Have a
Get
Savannah
rid of
Banana.
the celebrity softball game and put the star version of the All Stars of the Savannah Banana League into play.
So you have all the best players that play banana ball
Yeah,
at the All-Star game.
instead of the celebrity softball
Instead
game.
of the celebrity softball, yeah, why
Oh
not?
damn.
I'd love to see Mark join them, try to do a backflip while he's trying to make a catch.
Yeah, that would not look too graceful. I would definitely get a 0.0 from the judges.
uh, but I am going to throw it to you, Mark, on this one because you turned me to this story. I want to talk a little bit about this Little League Tulsa team.
Well, if you haven't been following the news, and it really wasn't big out there, I had to actually be searching for it to find it. The Little League World Series is a very big thing nowadays because you actually see players who've actually played in it do actually make their way through college and into major league. And it's the best young kids from across the nation. Well, in the state of Oklahoma, nobody knows what the hell is going on. When you sign up to be on a team, it's very simple. You have to bring two things with you: the child and their birth certificate, and fill out the thing, fill out the application, put whatever dues for the town is. Fine, done. There was more cheating and lying of birth dates on these things, and not just one team. It was all pointing towards one team, how they did it by opening this cadre of problems up. More than one team was found out to have cheated, which is basically dis, disallowed the entire playoff play. All teams are now suspended, and it's gotten to be ridiculous. We go back well before these guys were alive, or were neat, barely just alive. We're talking about the Bronx kid, and I can't remember his name for the life of me anymore. And I'm probably getting slapped by Aaron Macklis right now, and I deserve to be. When Danny Amante, thank you, when he was 2 years older than what he was supposed to be in pitching, and we thought, hey, look, they're gonna check. This is not a uncommon thing. This is done across the nation. It's just whoever has the best forger gets away with it. It's not right. Some of these kids work their ass off to get to here rightfully, not to have it screwed up because one father or a sibling was there and said, "Oh, I think it's this year, and I'll fill this in," so his brother could play on on a lower team to go farther. There has to be better checks and balances, Mike.
You feel for the kids. This was an opportunity for them to play a game they love. They get showcased to a degree, and it gets taken away. Um, I'd have no issue if you just said, "Hey, the player who's a little bit older," and I think it was what 2 days was the cutoff or something.
It was no, it was more than that. Hold on, go on, and I will look that up.
Yeah, I mean to have that taken away from all the hard work you did, it's hard and it sucks for those kids because they may never be able to get that opportunity again, Dan.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, first of all, on the eligibility crap, um, you mean tell me that you had someone older than, well, what I think what's the cutoff age, 13 years old or whatever it is?
That
Yeah,
was just one of the problems. Yes, he was.
Yeah,
He was.
yeah.
Yeah.
We all know the Tulsa Little League. Also, they collected money from the
That
town.
and the fact that the two of the kids didn't even live in the district they said they were playing for.
Exactly. So you have the first thing first on the age. You mean to tell me that there's a 15-year-old kid or whatever the heck his age was, uh, that played in a little league championship that would have gotten you to Williamsport? Like, come on now. Like that's crazy. Like parent first of all, parents of these kids are smart enough to know who's old enough, you know, by the look at their faces, be like, this guy is clearly not old enough to, have a beard. Like, get him off the field. Um, so obviously that's just wild. But then of course, you get to the money crap. Like that is insane. To try to cover your debts, you're gonna not only have people pay a fee to get into the league, but you're gonna charge you for tickets.
At the gate. Yeah, that
What?
that was what I could not believe.
It's a Little League game. Like you're charging me to go to a Little League game? Like that's fucking stupid. You
that's
know?
insane.
The bench warmers, the movie made it very great. I am 12.
Oh my god, he's drinking tequila while he's
Yeah,
pitching.
My tummy sickle.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. So, uh, just something
yeah,
to keep.
documentation.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
poor kids, man.
A lowly $5, was it $20 bill, whatever the fuck it was, and a
Whatever, right?
picture. That's literally what they did.
In
You
so many
know,
ways, yes.
um, the kids lose out.
Yeah,
Mike is right. The kids lose out
that's the
because
who loses here.
it's like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. To get yourself out there, brand your little league.
And now it's taken away, and those kids are a footnote. You know, and there's nothing they did wrong.
No. And
That
that's the
that's the
that's the problem. Let these kids replay the game with the other team that lost, minus this player, and whatever the outcome is, should be it. But now we are so far past where we need to be. Can they actually do it?
probably not. Uh, Sucks, but the rules are the rules. All right. So last week we had a fun conversation about Mike Krukow, the Giants broadcaster who's retiring. It gave me the idea, talk about our favorite broadcasts in baseball. Not about singular game or singular broadcaster, but I'm talking about broadcast booths and how much we enjoy listening to certain ones. So I've come up with an idea of each of us making a top 5 list of our favorite broadcast booths in baseball. I would say in other sports, but some of us would just probably be a little repetitive. We may even be repetitive on this a little bit, but I think it'd be a little fun opportunity here.
The fun thing is, I was able to hear some broadcast booths that these guys didn't. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys have.
Uh, it's amazing. I don't, yeah, who you heard in the 1920s, I'm not sure, but
I heard the guy announcing the Black Sox scandal. Come on.
oh, you know what? You know what? I don't know if we could do 5 on this for Jaden Daniels' sake. I'm not sure
Uh,
we could have went top 5.
uh, top 5.1, subsection A, article B. Okay.
All right,
Let's
Mark,
just
you want to get us
kick it off
started?
with my first one was Vince Scully. Listening to the Dodgers and listening to Vince Scully, yes, I'm a diehard Mets fan, and they're on my list. Don't worry about it. But if I had to pick one who I listened to and listened to stuff that he did before as I got older, just to hear stuff he did earlier, that was Vince Scully. And his talk about the game, his description of what was going on, you never missed any of the action. You were always involved.
This is in no particular order, right?
No,
Correct.
just however you feel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, in that case, I have to start off with the Padres booth and Don Orsillo
Oh, I
and
love Donnie Orsillo does a
Mark
hell of a job.
Mark Marquette Gray. Um, I've always found him entertaining listening to because like I said, Boston, they used to have super stations. So we used to get the Red Sox games, just like we used to get the Braves and the Cubs
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Don Orsillo is hilarious and has gotten more funnier since he left Boston and went to San Diego. So, no, he's great. He brings life to the booth, and he makes sometimes an unwatchable Padres team entertaining. So, like, I gotta go with that booth. It's incredible.
Mikhail.
I mean, I'm gonna go a little off the board here. Hawk Harrelson of the
Mm-hmm.
White Sox.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. Having MLB Network give you White Sox games in the past with Hawk Harrelson, phenomenal. And Hawk Harrelson, listen to his credit, massive homer, but he called the teams out when he had to. And he would even call out the umpires. There is a great YouTube video of the first base umpire. I actually think it's Angel Hernandez calling Mark Burley for consecutive balks. And you hear Hawk Harrelson go, and what the hell did he call him for a balk again? It's fantastic. Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun listening to the Hawk Harrelson. But yeah, I'll start there.
The next one, I'm sure these guys have listened to. San Francisco Giants, Dwayne Culper and Mike Crocker. Dwayne and Culper, Dwayne and Crocker have been, Crocker and Culper, whatever these some for them, have been around for great play-by-play, have kept fans into it, comedy, and obviously very, very stat accurate. Um, Fun group.
I think what helped that booth, and they're also one of my top booths. Um, it was the Barry Bonds chase for 756.
Mm.
Yes.
Because Barry Bonds spent what, 13 years, 14 years with the Giants, and that booth was a massive part of it because Bonds was a showcase, very entertaining to watch. So yeah, no, I agree. By the way, John Miller's in that booth too sometimes when he's not
Oh
doing
yeah,
radio. You know,
John Miller does the radio.
but yeah, he's not he's going to be on a separate booth that I have. But and I know we're talking local broadcasters or whatever, but
No, no, that
gotta give the national team some love
no.
too.
Listen, I'm happy you said because I'll you teed me up. John Miller, Joe Morgan, Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah.
Back before ESPN ruined it, that was the duo, and they knew the game. I, I think Joe Morgan, for a national analyst, was the best national analyst.
And if you count his years, what was it with NBC before that? Like Joe Morgan was, easily one of the best, color broadcasters.
Yeah.
In baseball for a very long time. And he's called World Series, he's called, obviously the Sunday Night Baseball. Like you think about that and just it's just a tremendous booth. Like there's just no other way around it.
And it's our childhood.
Yeah.
It was our childhood, John Miller.
Like you really looked forward to Sunday night knowing
Yeah. Even if it wasn't your team playing, ooh, Miller and Morgan
yeah.
for an hour or two, sold. I mean, even those 4-hour Yankee Red Sox games, they would find a way to make them enjoyable.
Since I'm still in the old part of these guys, another guy who I got to see during my stadium tours when I used to do them, Harry Carey, baby, in
Okay.
Chicago. I'm sorry. Mind you, I was nowhere near where I am now when I saw him. I had to be in my teens and was doing a trip with friends, and to hear him just call out certain things and whatnot, but you waited for the signature seventh inning. I've never seen a stadium join the seventh inning song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, with such gusto from one guy bringing it to its top keys, to its first word. What a broadcaster.
Harry Carey, the Midwestern baseball god in the
Mm.
broadcast booth. Like he did so many different teams. One of the very few to do two in the same town. Did the White Sox for a little while, and then of course the Cubbies, which he became a lot more famous for. Uh, Good time. I always love watching his take me out to the ball game highlights.
Oh,
Just had that natural voice to make you want to join in the fun.
I think that's something people don't realize when you're in the booth, like the emotion and the enthusiasm that comes out. Like that's what we want to see. I mean, I mean, I can't. Dan worked there, so he knows about it. You and I, Mark, we get to witness it on a nightly basis. But to me, the best booth in baseball right now, it's Gary, Keith, and Ron.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
knew Mike and I would have that together. That's why I was saving it for the end.
I mean, they feed off each other so well. And it's a great combination of talking about the game, having fun, and they poke fun at each other
And
and
if you
poke
look
fun
at
at the
it,
game to a degree.
and if you look at it, we replicate SMY. Mike is Gary, Dan is Ron, and I am the color commentary of Keith. So I mean, we Dan is the statistical guy. He's there. He's pounding it out. He's giving you what breaks down. Mike is the one who keeps you into the game, and I'm the guy who breaks in and says, "Do you see the size of this sandwich they brought me up here today? Man, look at the layers on the sandwich, and we got a tray of donuts and all that."
So who do we get to be Gelbs and eat hot dogs at every ballpark?
Steve Gelbs is Lawrence Patchman Lang. See, no offense to Bill Murphy. I'm sorry. Bill Murphy,
He
you
can be
know
the
what
ball
Bill
boy.
is?
That's fine.
No, that's too little for Bill. Bill is the guy that is Dan's right-hand man for statistician. Dan writes a little note. I need the stat for one guy in 1956. Get it. Bill, boom, back at it with 30 seconds. Bill's our stat guy. No,
Howie
everybody in the
Rose's
network would play a great part.
Mets history book.
Shout out Howie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
retiring this year.
they're releasing a SNY is releasing a documentary special.
Yeah,
I can't.
Tuesday
Yeah,
night after the post game.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's
I
gonna
have
be
it
pretty
set to
cool.
record.
Yeah. Um, if I'm gonna go with two other booths that I just that kept being on my mind, Yankee booth, no, not Michael K. John Sterling and Susan Waldman.
It's baseball, Susan.
Like that's an iconic booth. First things first, a woman as a color commentator, like it's groundbreaking. On top of that, John Sterling knew how to entertain people. So yeah,
Look, John Sterling, great announcer.
yeah.
However, no offense to the great John Sterling, I'll never forget when I was driving with my great friend Aaron Macklis. We were coming back from the golf course. I don't remember who the batter was, but we're listening. It is high. It is right. He's going nuts. It is. Oh, caught. I'm
He did
sorry,
that.
John. Had to do it to you. But
Yeah,
John Sterling definitely had the Yankees fans' hearts and
yeah,
really led the way as a great broadcaster.
yeah. Vin Scully's up there with
Vince
me
Scully's
too.
got to be on there. Yeah,
He has to. Say what you want about Joe Buck and Tim McCarver.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
absolutely.
they're the
They have to be there.
they're the dynamic duo, bro. Like obviously Joe Buck doesn't call as many baseball games as he used to, and he probably doesn't know how to do it. Um, but no, like that was that you knew when you're watching the World Series, you knew what you were getting. Um, while people complain about Joe Buck and his lack of enthusiasm, you know, the fact is that he knew how to draw the game to a television audience. And with Tim McCarver being the big time baseball guy he was, you know, it was it was a classic good feel World Series every year, knowing that you're gonna get that boot.
You could tell the tightness of their group. That I think is important too. Um, One other I'll throw out there: Dan Schulman and Buck Martinez when they would do the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay. I
Dan,
have never sat and listened, but I've heard snippets, so I can know what
Dan
he's talking about.
Schulman, I think, is so good. Whether
Yeah,
it's baseball, college basketball, I think he's fantastic.
yeah,
Buck Martinez was a lot of fun too, but I think he announced his retirement this year. So
yeah. He's also been sick over the last few
yeah,
years
he
too.
was not doing great. So hopefully he's doing okay now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, couple of other things to for some housekeeping. We'll get into the series and then we'll do some housekeeping. But series watch this week, Dan. The Yankees they'll go from Toronto to Baltimore this week. Play
Yeah,
the
they have to have a better series in Baltimore. I mean, look, the Orioles have been playing a lot better. There should be no reason why and look again, we give the Blue Jays credit. They beat the Red Sox and now they're beating up on the Yankees. But the Yankees are better than these teams. And I know they don't have their best players, but they're still better. So play like a team that's going to go to the playoffs and get the job done. You
I'm
know,
sorry, Dan. I have to do this to you. What was your take on the play last night? As I texted you, because I thought it was a play from years before.
no, that was Garcia at first base.
Yeah, no, I had thought I had never seen the play before, so I had thought it was from years ago.
Um,
And then I'm like, that's
well,
Vladdy.
I understood why he did it. He was trying to get the out at third base. It's a heat in the moment type of play.
But no, how he lost his glove. It was like it was like a
Well,
comedy
that
of
happens.
errors.
Well, that happens too. But like, I wasn't necessarily concerned about the losing the glove at first. I was more upset at the error at third because that it was just not necessary to make that play.
Which
He
ended up
did.
scoring. scoring Vladdy Jr., who just went on the 7-day IL with a
Yeah.
concussion.
Yeah, eat it and let to fight another inning, you know?
Right.
Yeah, by the way, Vladdy going out with an injury sucks.
Worst time.
And of course, you never know what concussions. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Just because they say it's a 7-day protocol, concussions can last weeks beyond that.
mhm.
And the
Until
Blue
that,
Jays are right there in the thick of that AL wild card hunt.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, until that to Vladdy's countryman, said the kid. I mean, how long was Crosby out in hockey for concussions and all that
Oh,
stuff?
he's had his concussion issues, yeah.
Long time.
But yeah. Oh.
And
So
with the hockey fact.
the Yankees go to Baltimore. The Tigers go to Pittsburgh to play the Pirates. Some news. I'm very angry at the Pirates on this one. Paul Skeens, who was supposed to pitch tomorrow, pushed back to Wednesday. It would have been Framber Valdez against Paul Skeens tomorrow.
I can
Uh,
understand your anger for that point. I have a big problem with skipping his start. I don't care if he's been having issues. He's got to get out there and work them out. You give him time, he's gonna lose a little bit of what he had.
this hasn't been a good season for Paul Skeens. It's
No,
it's very unfortunate. Like we thought, okay, well, game one versus New York, it happens. You can't get out of the first inning. Defense is atrocious. It is what it is. To have it spiral out of control this season is something I didn't have on my bingo card, and own up to it. The Pirates have to own up to it. Paul Skeens has to own up to it. It's been a bad year.
they're 3-12 in his last 15 starts. So here's
That's
the
a,
big
sorry,
here's
that's just hard to swallow. Go ahead, Mike.
here's the biggest thing on Skeens. His first 9 starts, 1.98 ERA. The last 16 starts, ERA of 5.
You know, I would rather him have these hiccups early in his career than to have him gassed and go out at the end. But on the other side on it, pitchers worked through their problems. Back then, you didn't sit a game. You played if you were giving up 20 runs a game or you were giving up no runs a game. He's got to work through his problems. He's got to listen to the coaches. Sitting him doesn't help erase the problem. It only elongates it, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see if pushing him back a couple of days rights a little bit of the ship. We also got the Marlins and Phillies this week. Huge NL wild card implications. Phillies, before they start beating up on the Twins, were barely hanging on. So
I think with the Phillies, they needed a get right series, and this one with Minnesota was certainly one.
if
So,
anyone knows about getting right against the Twins, it's the Yankees.
um, yeah, man.
The Marlins also just hanging around the NL wildcard picture. Cardinals, Reds, Blue Jays, Rays. About this, D-backs, Red Sox, Fenway. The Red Sox have hit a little bit of a lull, but they were so hot they were going to lose eventually.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, it is what it is. Like, the it doesn't mean that the Red Sox are still they're in the thick of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be in the wild card. You're bound to hear you losing skid something. So
right. You're going to lose one or two after that impressive run.
yeah.
I just don't want to see them fall off. I did one or two games here or there. Fine. Keep going. Go
And
Reds.
look, they beat Pittsburgh yesterday. So, it's
Yep,
Yeah.
rubber game today.
yeah, exactly. The Diamondbacks though, they can't
You
be
want to talk
stopped.
about a hot team?
They're beating up on the Braves, Mike. Like,
I
They're
listen.
beating up on everybody.
They're beating up at yeah. And by the way, I think they still have 9 games or something left with the Giants and the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Never say never. The NL West, there,
what
Dodgers.
that NL West is gonna become more, it's talked about as the AL East very soon.
It's an 8-game deficit, tied with the Padres. I'd be really shocked if the Dodgers fall off
Oh, I don't
that.
think they'll fall that much,
I don't think the Dodgers
but the
lose the
Diamondbacks could
division.
creep back up.
They could put pressure on them.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
We
Yet
got
we
the.
have seen teams completely and utterly collapse.
Don't remind me.
I know, Mike.
We got the Mariners and the Brewers.
Fun series, more meaningful, I would say, for the Mariners
Yeah,
right now.
Mariners need to get going.
yeah,
Uh,
but it's a tough Brewers team. The more we watch Milwaukee, it happens every year.
You gotta believe.
Mhm.
You
That is
gotta believe in the
that is
Brew.
unreal. Can they do it in the playoffs though?
How
Like,
good is Jackson Churio? My
How
God.
good is Jacob Mizorowski?
What he did to Shohei Ohtani last night was pure
made
criminal.
made him look like a
Slider,
dumbass.
high speed fastball, and drops an 80-mile-an-hour circle change. And Ohtani was like 8 hours before the pitch even left his
Yeah,
hand.
he looked stupid on that
Yeah.
pitch. You know how
My
hard it
God.
is to make Otani look stupid? He's a
That is your
pitcher.
highlight reel. Drop the glove, walk off. I'm done. Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Braves Twins. And then
Bra- Braves should win that series. Unfortunately, hate to say that.
I mean I'm putting the Twins in because the Twins are still hanging around, but Phillies are beating up on them. And then we get the Battle of Chicago. White Sox Cubs.
Finally relevant, though. You know, we've had the Battle of Chicago, but now both teams are good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
I need the Michael Barrett AJ Pierzynski rematch though.
Oh,
Going down.
for
yeah.
me, that would be Paul Konerko. So that's before Mike.
Yeah.
No, I know Paul Konerko, sure.
Oh, you know Paul Konerko? I need an autographed baseball
I
card.
don't know him
Oh,
personally.
oh, you didn't say that.
Let me see if I can sneak into his house and grab one.
If all right, you said you have this game. Who are you putting on the cover of the Chicago Times newspaper from each team? One player only to
From
show
each
like
team?
the from each team to show like the Subway Series face off, like the Mets and Yankees used to have.
PCA Murakami.
Dan?
Mm. Oh shit. You put me on the spot here. So
One player from the Cubs, one player from the White Sox, who you would put on the front of the Chicago Times, showing a face-off for like what the Mets and Yankees used to do, where they used to put Piazza and Clemens facing each other or whatever. Mike went with PCA and Murakami.
damn. I gotta go with something different, right?
Not necessarily.
I'm gonna say no, I think PCA Murakami is the best, to be honest. Um, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Like it's also a good one. Like,
Right on the spot.
that's a tough one.
See, I would put PCA and Luis Angel Acuna as they've met
Okay.
before in the minor leagues.
That's just like, that's just.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Mark.
I agree with Mike that PCA Murakami probably would be makes the most sense.
uh, how about Burke and Imanaga?
Okay.
Know the pitching ground, okay. Oh.
The two pitchers facing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very highly watched series.
Yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is, both teams are good. Obviously, the Cubs are right now 8 wins better, but that's because they're in the National League, and the White Sox are in the weak ass American League, them included. They're not as good as the National League is. Um, but no, both teams are playing well. It's good. It's a good time to be in Chicago, where both teams are actually playing for something.
Yeah. So that's the week. Next weekend, you get the Braves and the Brewers, Cardinals, Phillies, Blue Jays will return to the Bronx, Reds, D-backs, Twins, Padres, and Cubs, Mariners. That's all next weekend. So a couple of little house keeping notes. We had a couple of bench clearing situations, including the White Sox and Reds earlier this week. We've been seeing a lot more bench clearing stuff this year.
Yeah.
More than last year, definitely.
Well, it's because all these players throw temper tantrums.
They're taking it
No.
out. The CBA's not there for them, so they're taking it out on each other.
Best fight ever
Yeah.
watched was still Nolan Ryan versus Robin Ventura.
Yeah.
Both met legends.
True.
And speaking of the Reds, Hunter Green will undergo second Tommy John surgery. He will miss all of next season. So
What a loss.
it's
What a
brutal.
horrific loss.
But we wish him nothing but the best.
Well, I mean, look, we're talking about it as a possibility. He had gone for second opinions, and second opinions like, nah, dude, you're done. Look, get the surgery. You're out for the year, out for next year, and you'll come back in 28 if there is a 28. Stronger than ever, you know?
And will he be a Red? Who knows? Remember, his name was floated out there at the deadline, so we'll see what happens. But that'll do it for this edition of the Batter Up podcast, sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood here on the Sports City Network. Mark, you got anything on the dugout?
No, we're still waiting for PSA to decide when they want to send me back my cards. So Dugout's in a holding pattern right now.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe here to the YouTube page. Dan, you with Bill tomorrow on SIP?
Oh, this is the plan. Yep.
That's the plan. Go to the website, thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Great blogs, vlogs, money, trades, and automobiles. Follow the socials. Twitter, S Insanity Real. Facebook, The Sports Insanity Network. Jade and Daniel, sup. But for Dan, Mark, I'm Mike. We'll talk to you all next week here. Batter Up Podcast, sponsored by the Dugout of Bill.